Roger at Wuthering Heights with the outlook for Tuesday, the rest of today, Tuesday through Easter Sunday, April the 5th. Well, we're looking at low utility concerns this week, some wet snow potential along about Friday night into the day on Saturday, and this will be followed by marginally strong gusty winds out of the northwest on Sunday from a following separate system. Now, temperatures will be oscillating from warmest on Friday to coldest on Sunday, and confidence in modeling past about days 4 and 5 was lower. The best project weather the rest of today, and this is the reason why. We have a southern system that's off to the south of us. This is going to be tracking off to the south and not really be a bother. Spread a little bit of cloud cover across parts of southern Vermont, anticipating no precipitation across Vermont. And the last of the flurries earlier on has departed with this other weather system, so we're shooting the gap in between. We should have some great project weather the rest of today, Tuesday. And with a decent amount of sunshine, we're seeing that storm system off to the south of us, spreading a little bit of snow and then changing to rain as daytime temperatures on late March sunshine warms those boundary layers up, and so it's all basically all rain sliding across parts of southern New England. And this is valid by midnight, or actually 1 o'clock. Well, that would be 1 o'clock on Wednesday morning. Okay, looking at the latest European model here, we have that weather system sliding off to the south. You can see that across portions of the middle Atlantic states, and it goes off the coast. High pressure tries to build in behind it, and this is going to be taking place into the day on Wednesday. Now we have this secondary frontal boundary that's going to be moving in. This is a warm frontal genesis. A little bit of a south wind, and we're going to start to see a nice warm-up with the warmest day coming along about Friday, but that frontal genesis works off to the east. Looks like precipitation tries to make it in here, and then a cold front. So a kind of a quick spike with temperatures that could even get into the mid-50s in some locations. Then precipitation with a frontal boundary off to the south of us here. Associated gets pushed out of the region, so oscillating weather. And then we have the secondary low. This is going to be spinning up into a stronger system and track right over New England. It has colder air to the north that's going to be feeding in on its northern flank, and this is what's going to change a pattern of rain to snow. It looks like this is going to kick in on later overnight, Friday night into the day on Saturday. This is the next 6-hour panel. You can see that area of low pressure tracking, and the European model has been kind of back and forth, and again, models have not been very consistent on this, oscillating just a little bit here and there. Here's a 12-hour pattern change right here. Let's see if I can pull this up now. We'll work with that. There you go. There's your 12-hour differences, and it's a little bit of a change here. So again, model's not quite on top of everything. But this is where the snowfall comes in, and we're looking at this again on Thursday. A little bit of a warm front moves on to the east of us, takes the precipitation with us. And then we get into a little bit of rain, not shown here. This is again just snow. And you can see that weather system changing back from rain, transitioning to snow, mainly across northern Vermont at this point in time. And I will be covering this with any kind of an issue that may arise. We'll be covering it with a heads up. Okay, same weather system producing a little bit of a wind issue here. The the lighter green colors is what we're really looking for. And what you can see here is that there's a secondary system that with a tight pressure gradient, as this area of higher pressure bumps up against these couple areas of higher pressure, pushing up against this area of low pressure, which is relatively weak. But it gets the job done with probably fairly good mixing conditions that will be developing probably sometime on Sunday morning into Sunday afternoon. And this continues through about 8 o'clock, and then you can see things begin to calm down, and so we have a little bit of a wind issue. Also, this is pushing in much colder temperatures as this area of higher pressure is associated with some old Arctic air masses that are trying to modify but are still really cold for this time of year. And the American GFS plot shows negligible precipitation. However, it starts out as rain, transitions to snow, and you can see that there's a wide berth, anything from some of the whiskers here of almost 2 inches and down to as low as 2/10 of an inch. Again, this is centered on Burlington, but probably that midpoint, you're looking at max precipitation hefty enough to be a concern, so something we're going to have to watch in terms of wet snow. And again, mainly higher terrain, again, affecting us on Friday night into the morning hours, especially on Saturday. 7-day total precipitation, melted rain or snow, we're near the 1-inch line here, roughly. Northern Vermont a little heftier than southern Vermont. Now it's time to talk about temperatures, and again, a warm-up has made it into areas of the northern and central plains, southern plains, some parts of the southern states here, but hanging tough cold across the northeast United States. This is the last bastion of really winter. And 3 days later, this is the maximum temperature anomalies for 3 days later. And the northern areas, northern tier areas, some inroads with some colder air working in behind that weather system I'm talking about on Friday night, Saturday. This will start to balance everything out again on the colder side. Here's the temperature schematic, this meteogram. It shows centered on Barry, Montpelier, and you can see rather chilly temperatures through basically Thursday. We start to rise and get back to close to seasonal levels. This is 32 degrees, and you can see a max temperature on Friday, per the European model, wants to give us highs up above 55 degrees. We'll see if that arises. I think there'll be cloud cover, and this will probably get knocked back down. And you can even see there's a little bit of precipitation. This is the warm front, then nothing, warm temperatures, and then here comes the transition from rain to snow, and this gets into this area here. So much colder weather to follow for Sunday. Another look at the meteogram generator from Iowa State. You can see the max temperatures for the Friday afternoon. Relatively cold below normal temperatures here. We drop down, we get colder on the other side. 7-day snowfall, we picked up about 3 inches here. It says a trace. This is as of yesterday, but we picked up a little more snow in some locations, especially in northern Vermont. And then the look of how much snow depth, 87 inches at the Stake on top Mount Mansfield, still running some pretty high numbers here. All of this is going to eventually have to melt when temperatures get warm enough, and that looks to be somewhere along around the 13th, 14th, 15th of the month. This is the climate forecast system model, and you can see the oscillations here and the maximum temperatures indicated by this climate forecast model. And not as strong as the European, a little bit more like the GFS. And then, of course, we get cold again and just kind of stay up and down here. But roughly around the 11th, 12th, and 13th, we're staying a little bit closer to the seasonal norms, if not even going a little bit above here, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th. Maybe a little bit of a cut back, coming down slightly below normal, but staying in the norms here. And again, these temperatures, you can see that gray line, that's the gradual rise. These are the overall averages, the max extreme, minimum extreme temperatures, and so forth. So some improvement once we get around the 12th, 13th as it looks right now. This has been pretty solid by the European model. It's being picked up well by the GFS model finally. And one more look at the temperature schematics here. This is the GFS ensemble, and you can see that maximum temperature along about Friday, and then that sharp cutoff. And you can see a lot of model variability here. These a lot of mixed lines here, so the models have a tendency to lose it right after that. And again, that is about the time that rain transitions into snow, hence low confidence. That's it from here. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights Consulting. Thanks for watching.